Welcome to the Crystal Zone podcast with Kyle Russell of crystalconcentrics.com. Our motto is Crystals for Life. You're in tune to the Crystal Zone podcast, and we're just taking a moment now to share a word from our partners, people who make this show possible and who might be able to help you in some way.
Hi, I'm Nina Manelson, and this is a message for you if you're a woman over 40 who has been on and off diets for at least 10 years. I'm a nutrition and body relationship therapist, and I help women feel truly at home in their body. I work with smart women who already have so much information about what they should or shouldn't do to care for themselves, but still feel like they're at war with their body and food. If this resonates with you, please visit ninamanelson.com. I have a free ebook for you, How to Be a Woman at Ease in Her Body.
Greetings. So, this particular podcast, which will be turned into a blog, is going to be all about my experience with TikTok, the social media phenomenon that has really exploded, at least here in the US, and certainly I'm sure around the world, as of certainly the pandemic and maybe before. In any case, why is it relevant to my Crystal Zone podcast series? It is relevant because it has been quite a journey that began in October of 2020 on inspiration from my son, Kobe Russell, at Kobe Russell. He's got his own channel. We call them channels, we call them pages. I don't know if there really is an official and appropriate word for what to call that thing which is yours on TikTok. It's your little domain. And I began then with a dad on TikTok video and some other casual ones talking about crystals here and there. And then I went viral. I had some videos that blew up. And by that, I mean lots and lots of viewers. I'll get more specific on that as we go further into the podcast. And my followership started to explode. I went up to 10,000, then 20, then 30, 40, 50. Now I'm approaching 70,000 followers on TikTok after what? November, December, January, February, 4 months. In 4 months, that's an average of 20,000 new followers per month. Now, what has all the excitement been about? I can't think of a better way of exploring that than to simply open up my phone and do a little bit of scrolling. I'm gonna begin in the present and talk about how I have just launched my Crystals 360 annual program, which is a way in which people can connect with me and a group of like-minded crystal lovers through an online community done through Facebook, as well as through one meeting monthly for discussion and learning based in part on a curriculum developed and derived from my new book coming out this spring of 2021 called Crystal Energy, Working with and Understanding, Crystal Energy, Understanding and Working with Stones for Clarity and Flow. Yep, that's the name of it. And so you'll definitely want to keep an eye out for that. But I posted that on the heels of a viral video that has already, in basically a day, attracted 16,000 views. And that video had me wearing my macrame wrapped big Moldavite necklace in such a way that it was dangling on my forehead. And I talked about what a silly and strange look that was, but what a cool idea it is to have that as a way of wearing your stones. And it got so much response that that was the result of people relating to it. People talked about how they used to do that when they were kids, or they still do it, or ancient civilizations did it. And I learned a new word, which is a circlet. Apparently, a circlet is this type of a third eye necklace. Anyway, I'm going to scroll back a little bit and find some other viral vids to tell you about, because they're kind of like the backbone and the story of the TikTok experience. Though I will say that the dreaded algorithm continues to not be very transparent. It's hard to know which videos are going to blow up. For example, I did one on Sugilite Smalls, and I just laid out 3 of them and showed color quality variations, and that got 108,000 views, which is cool. I got 28,000 views on a video about new crystals, what to do. And that whole topic of cleansing, clearing, charging, and programming of crystals has been a really key part of my TikTok career, because I've put it out there that I do not believe in doing those things, because I trust and respect the integrity and energetic wholeness of the crystals when we get them. And I find that attempts to do any or all of those 4 things are quite invasive and damaging to the chemistry of our relationship with the particular crystal that we might be working with. So I've gotten a lot of people appreciating my perspective and saying, wow, that is so cool, because I've always felt that way too. And I've never understood why so many people are obsessed with cleansing, clearing, charging, and programming. And yet, at the same time, I continue to get comments from people who say the same things that other people on the same exact video have said, which is, what about if people touched it? What about the negative energies? And I respond to that. I definitely want to do a whole podcast about that particular subject, because it is such a hot button topic, and I want to explain my perspective more fully. But in this particular podcast, I'm choosing instead to focus on my TikTok successes and biggest videos. Moldavite consistently produces a lot of views. I did one on real versus fake Sugilite, which was quite popular. And in fact, that whole theme of real versus fake anything is very, very salient to people on TikTok. Very recently, I sort of came to the rescue of a vendor who was posting super top quality gem rose quartz, and his comment section was completely inundated with basically hate comments saying that he was pushing fakes and should be doing the scratch test, etc. And all I did, because I really don't like to get involved in other people's politics. Even if I disagree with a certain poster for whatever reason, I won't ever confront them on their page. I'd rather seek out a way to message them and have a more mature conversation than dumping crap on their listings, on their posts, because I think that's rude, and that's come back to haunt me a couple of times, where people have asserted that the Moldavite that I was showcasing, specifically actually it was the cut and polished Moldavite pendulums, that they were fake for the very reasons I said they were real, that they had certain types of bubbles in them. And I will always engage people who question me or who have a different perspective than mine, to a point. If they keep needling me or disregarding my points or disrespecting my earned authority in this field, I tend to delete their comments and block them from seeing my channel. Because if my channel is not producing content that you enjoy, and instead it's bringing out the troll in you, then you don't need my content, and I certainly don't need your presence on my page. So, moving right along, I'm looking for only ones that have over 10,000 views. This one was really good. This one got 27,000 views. And in it, I'm going to open this up just so that I could read this to you. It says, "Wow, you're the first crystal guru," in quotes, "that I actually feel like I should listen to, LOL." And I talk about how it reminds me of the slogan that I came up with for my Tucson 2020 appearance in my graphics of the postcard I was handing out there. I said that I was spiritually inspired and geologically grounded, which is such a powerful concept, in the sense that I am grounded in the stones, and I am not, as I say in the video, airy-fairy. But I am still spiritually inspired, which means that I'm not scientifically based or evidence-based in the sense of scientific experiments. The rigor of the scientific method does not apply to metaphysics. I find, however, that even though we rely heavily on inspiration and channeled information, that it really helps for anyone that we're sharing our knowledge with to hear a sense of logic and groundedness in what we're saying. Why are we saying it? What is it based on? If it is inspiration, be honest about that. If it is logical, be clear about that, so that people can really know where you're coming from. I got 12,000 views on a video I did about crystal elixirs, and the bottles in which people put crystals to drink from. My point ultimately was that I don't prefer to ingest my crystals. I rather like to sort of hold them rather than eat them or drink them. Then I'm looking at, now remember, or you wouldn't know if you are not a follower of me on TikTok, I, a couple of months into it, decided to start doing 2 videos daily. And as a result, I have a number of drafts that I can draw on, and they total like 40 drafts. And so I just open up my drafts and I think about what the vibe is of the day that I want to share. The Moldavite pendulum video got 17,000 views. And I sold both of those pendulums immediately. as a result of having done that. Best beginner crystals got 10.7K views. And in that video, I was talking about how important I think it is for people to get a sense early in the game about power and energy differentials, say between a super ascension stone and a very grounding stone. And that as a beginner, if you can figure that out, that discrepancy, then you've gone a long way towards learning how to work with crystals on a more advanced level. I have 54,000 views on Moldavites, 3 grades of it that I explain, 187,000 views on my stone identification video, in which I lament that people got wind. I occasionally tell folks what stones they have, and someone just wrote me out of the blue and said, "What is this?" with a photograph, which is rude, and I said so. And I got a huge outpouring of love from people who said it's not old school to expect people to exhibit a basic level of politeness. 15,000 on my selenite satin spar video. 27,000 views on my charging crystals not needed video. 12K on Moldavite green or black. And then the big breakthrough videos, the ones that really made it my debut as a viral TikToker, were my ones about citrine clusters, 170,000 views. My real citrine guide, 13.3. And my fake citrine versus real citrine, 46.7 thousand views. So those were my big breakthrough videos. And other than that, I've got plenty at 1 and 2 and 3 and 5,000. But usually once it starts taking off, it really takes off. And you can tell pretty quickly whether that's happening if you start getting 1,000 or more views in one day. But I do not focus or obsess, although I will certainly check particularly my comments pretty religiously, multiple times a day, because I love responding to people's comments, and the comments are really, on one level, the lifeblood of the channel, because people who comment are curious, they have questions, and because I have so many answers, I'm able to make reply videos. I love making reply videos, and I've done many of them. And a lot of people are very grateful for that and thank me. And I've also, as a result of having gone so viral and having gotten so much attention on TikTok, receive a number of inquiries daily from people who want to purchase particularly lower priced Moldavites. And because I have been blessed with a stock of those, I have been able to move out a bunch of them. And it's very reassuring to know that these special tektites and stones are going all around the world because of me and my making them available, and my having resonated with so many people on TikTok. I got another comment which turned into a reply video regarding people saying they feel so safe with me, or that my voice is calming and reassuring to them. And that has been a real blessing, because it means that my energy is able to reach and touch and resonate with people that otherwise would never ever have heard of me. And I also think it's very important that I'm doing what I'm doing, because it provides a different and alternative voice. Before TikTok had a lot of people talking about crystals on it, there was, of course, every other social media outlet, Instagram and Facebook, and online and in the books. There is a lot of crystal lore which I do not agree with, and my book talks in detail about the ways in which that is true. So, again, I won't go into that here in this podcast, but providing an alternative perspective from someone who is confident and experienced and directly inspired is, I think, a valuable contribution to what I call the crystal world. So, on that note, I think I will complete this podcast. Thank you for listening. Always keep an eye out for the written versions, because I will have photo stills and links that can direct you towards some of the videos that I have spoken about. Thanks so much. Until next time. Bye-bye. You're in tune to the Crystal Zone podcast, talking all about crystals for life. And you might wonder, where would be a great place to buy crystals? Well, we have a warehouse and storefront, the Portal Crystal Gallery in Arlington Center, Massachusetts. And you can have a look at all our displayed items. And also, if there's something of interest, we have an extensive backstock. In any case, if you're more distant and you want to work by email and phone, we are happy to serve you through our quality custom crystal mail order service. A portion of our inventory is up at crystalconcentrics.com, but you should definitely email Kyle, K-Y-L-E, at crystalconcentrics.com with any questions. We can send you videos and show you all kinds of items which we have not yet had time to upload onto the site. Looking forward to hearing from you.